Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. In this video we're going to be looking at the new cart from Evercade. This is Windjammers Karnov and Friends 5 arcade games. Let's get started. Right guys, let's have a look at the newest arcade cart from Evercade. This is the release for June 2025. This is Windjammers Karnov and Friends 5 arcade sort of games added to this. It is an unusual title, but we'll explain that as we go. This is cart number 15 on the purple arcade label. And the games included are Windjammers, Karnov, Rohga Armour Force, Vapor Trail, as you can see up the top here, and the other one is Atomic Runner Chelnov. And they're all really decent enough games. Some are pretty challenging, there is no doubt about it. Now these games were originally Data East games, as you see here, so their name is actually on the cartridge here, but they were bought over by this company here, which is Paon, I think, or Paon. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, but that's the company that owns the games. Now, I'm assuming they just didn't feel comfortable putting their name on this collection because they're probably not that well known. It probably wouldn't be a big seller, whereas Windjammers Karnov are probably more well known and very attractive to people to actually buy. So I get the strategy. It might have been more sense to put Data East on it, but at the same time, they don't actually own the games anymore, even though their name is actually on the collection here. So a little bit complicated, but it is what it is. I'm not really sure that is the best name for a cart though. Windjammers Karnov and Friends. I'd love to have known that the actual choices that they had, it could have been Windjammers and stuff, or Windjammers and other stuff, and Windjammers and a couple other games. I have no idea what their options were, but it is what it is. But here we go. Let's have a look at the collection inside. We got the lovely cartridge as always, which looks really nice. We also have some stickers I see in the box and the usual manual included. Now let's have a look at the stickers first. So there's a sticker per each game, as you can see. We've got Windjammers, Karnov, and you can see the other ones at the bottom there. Chelnov, Vapor Trail and Rohga Armour Force. Now, I believe they are all stickers, you can probably see. So not sure I'm going to stick them on anything, but I guess if that's how you are inclined, you might want to put them on your Alpha if you own one. I guess, or on your VS or something, or somewhere else, I guess. Now there is also this little insert that's been included. Free Evercade wallpapers, you can sign up. As you can see here, you can do it old school and actually put your name, email and country, and you can post it off. Not sure if anybody's going to do that, but I might do it for a laugh, who knows. And there's some information there at all the different sites that you can have a look at if you're interested to learn more. Let's have a look at the manual as always. There's a little bit of information there about what I've just told you about who owns the actual games and the games themselves. And as always, make sure you're updated to the latest firmware. Tells you all about Windjammers, released in 1994. Publisher Paon DP Incorporated, I believe is their full name. Pretty simple game, I guess, to play, but it's quite complicated and tricky to actually get the best out of it. Now, please be aware there's a lot of information here on how to use the shots. Now, I've tried playing it, and it's really, really tricky. There's no doubt it is a very tough game to actually master. We've got Karnov, which is an interesting sort of a scrolling platformy, sort of run and gun almost type of game. And Karnov is the main sort of character, obviously. This game is tricky as heck, there's no doubt about it. You'll definitely need to spam those save states. Chelnov, or Atomic Runner Chelnov to give it his full name, from 1988. This one is a lot better than it looks. I think initially I wasn't that impressed, but after sort of having more in-depth play, I actually really enjoyed it. A little bit of a strange, constant running style game. Some adverts for the Alpha in the middle there. We've got a shoot 'em up Vapor Trail Hyper Offense Formation from 1989. And we have no shortage of sort of shoot 'em ups on Evercade. Will this sort of hold up to the best we have? We'll find out soon enough. Lots of information there about the game, which is always nice to see. We've got Rohga Armour Force, this is from 1991. This one I really enjoyed playing. Very typical arcadey sort of thing. But yeah, interesting. I love this sort of, the year is 2001 AD. I mean, years ago at the time that would have sounded very futuristic, but now it just seems so long ago. Anyway, some more information about that. And again, there's more stuff about cart care, just giving you some tips to make sure you don't brick your carts. Anyway guys, let's have a quick blast on the EXP and then we'll play on the VS. And here we go, we've got the 5 games all included. I suppose we should go with Windjammers first, since that is most likely the most well-known game from this collection, from 1994, so it does look fairly modern for an arcade game. Let's get started. Now, I'm definitely not good at this game, just forewarning you guys, I am absolutely awful. Definitely one of those games you need to play a lot of to try and master the skills of being a windjammer. Basically, you're a disc thrower in this sort of tournament as you're trying to make some progress through it. And you've got different points, score points, where you can sort of do or sort of aim to score. And obviously, you see, I'm not very good. Now, the quicker you sort of hit this button, the better. As you can see, you can do things like that. But honestly, that was probably pure luck as I'm playing this game. As you can see, I'm usually absolutely garbage. But the quicker you press that A button, the better, and the faster you will sort of return your shots, as you can see. But yeah, definitely one of those games where practice makes perfect. You can do a lob shot as well, which is definitely a little bit tricky to master. Usually you set yourself up for a massive fall as well when you do that. And there you go. Anyway, I'm not quite mastered it. I'm still trying to work out the basics of it, but it's a lot of fun once you get used to how to play it, which I'm still trying to work out, to be honest. Okay guys, so first up we're going to play Karnov. Now Karnov obviously has appeared in tons of other games such as Fighter's History, Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja, and Trio the Punch, which have all appeared on Evercade, but this is the only game Karnov is the obviously main character of the game as far as I'm aware. Now one thing about this game, it is brutally difficult. Now I could probably have ran about half an hour worth of video of me just dying constantly. It is unbelievably difficult. I felt sometimes that the collision detection was a little bit dodgy and I would just die all the time on the slightest touch of enemy fire or enemies themselves. Now throughout the game there are lots of different power-ups that you can pick up, such as ladders. You can get sort of speed as well. Now Karnov is a sort of circus performer or ex-circus performer, and he can also breathe fire, which maybe explains what we're seeing here. But anyway, it's a decent enough game. I just found it extremely frustrating to actually play and make progress. So this is one of those games you're going to have to spam those save states like crazy to make progress. I don't care how good you are going to have to use those save states a lot. So this game made me swear quite a lot. The amount of F-bombs that I was dropping whilst playing this game is ridiculous. Obviously it's not in this video, I'm sure that would be very entertaining, but my wife kept shouting through to me, what is wrong? And obviously I had to explain to her that I'm only playing a video game, which is just ridiculous. But it was very, very frustrating, and I died so many times, it was just ridiculous. And this bit of here doesn't make any sense. Finish the boss and the firepower just goes straight past into you. Makes no sense. Anyway guys, the point of this game is to try and get various pieces of a treasure map so that you can then find the treasure. Interesting game, just a really, really tough and frustrating one to play. I'm sure it has its fans out there, but I'm not really one of them. I enjoyed it to an extent, however it's one of those games that probably isn't good for the blood pressure at all. So next up we've got Atomic Runner Chelnov. Now this one has a little bit of a sort of interesting history to it. If you want to check it out, look at the details on Wikipedia. Now apparently this character does have some sort of relation to Karnov that we've just played, but it's not entirely clear. It obviously has a bit of a checkered past, so if you want to know the details, have a look on Wikipedia. But this game is very interesting. I actually quite enjoyed this one. It is still very tricky to play, but your character is obviously constantly moving or running, or at least the screen is constantly moving from left to right, so you basically need to keep on running, and you've got a sort of an 8-way fire, and you can also turn your character around by pressing the X button, I think it is, and you can also jump. Now you can also jump on the enemy's head, or at least most of them. There's various power-ups as well which help give you better firepower throughout the game, which is quite important. It will help your progress throughout the game. I have to say, once you get used to the controls, I was finding myself really enjoying this game, more so than I originally expected, so that kind of surprised me. It is quite tricky, but with save states it definitely makes it a little bit more possible to make better progress, and without it I think it would become a little bit like Karnov, a little bit of a frustrating experience, but it's nowhere near as difficult as that game. I have to say, really enjoyed it and definitely one worth playing. Okay, now we have Vapor Trail, and this one is a solid sort of scrolling shoot 'em up. Now, one of my biggest issues with games like this is that now they're always going to be compared to the games on Tour Plan Arcade 3, which are absolutely outstanding. Now there's nothing really wrong with this game, it is absolutely solid. It is quite tricky as well, to be honest, but I don't think there's anything truly spectacular about it, and that's probably my biggest issue. It's certainly above average, there's no doubt about it. I love the soundtrack as well, it's absolutely banging. Reminded me a little bit like Alligator Hunt on the Gatelco collection too. Now, it's not my favourite shooter on Evercade, but it is solid enough and enjoyable. If you like this type of game, I'm pretty sure you will really enjoy this. I didn't really get the special weapon by pressing the B button. I didn't really understand what was going on and what the benefits to using it were. Maybe it's just me, I need to read the manual, but honestly I just couldn't see the point of it. It had such ineffective use, it just didn't seem worth the while. A decent enough game though. Okay, next up we got Rohga Armour Force, and apparently this is a sequel to Vapor Trail that we've just actually played. It's a very different game to Vapor Trail in a different sort of perspective. Still a shoot 'em up, but you're sort of almost scrolling and you're part of this sort of robot type Armour Force thing that's scrolling across the screen. It is very strange how it's set up. There are various different combinations that you can create with this sort of character, which is, I've not really got my head around that at all. But I enjoyed playing this one. I think it's actually really cool. Apparently it was also known as Wolffang as well in different territories. But I enjoyed it. It's a no-brain experience. Turn your brain off and just enjoy it for what it is. An absolute blast to play, and more fun I'd say to play than actually Vapor Trail. It reminds me of various other games, but I couldn't quite put my finger on what those games were, to be honest. But I enjoyed it. It's really good. It's maybe a little bit similar to games like Battler, I guess, that's on some of the other collection. It might be on the Jalico collection, I think. But solid game, and probably my most favourite game from this collection. Definitely really good.
Holy missile power! Alright! Warning! Low energy! Alert! Critical hit! Alright! Alright! Alright!
Okay, Windjammers, probably the main game from this collection, but I have to be honest, I'm not really a huge fan of this game at all. I know it has its fans out there, but I honestly don't see the fuss. Now that's just my opinion. It has enjoyable elements for sure. I think the best way to enjoy this would probably be in two-player game on the VS or on the Alpha perhaps, but for me, I just don't get this game at all. It's basically a reimagining of like a Pong style game. You've got a flying disc where you're chucking it from one side to the other, trying to get to the past the opponent so you can score various points. And there's various different sort of moves you can make, different power-ups that you can use by sort of doing a circular motion on the D-pad and the sort of fire button to try and get the disc past your opponent. Personally, I've not quite mastered this game yet. I am absolutely horrible at it. So it's definitely one of those games where you need to practice, and try your best to master it. And once you master it, I'm sure you'll get a lot more enjoyment out of it. But I think the game itself feels just a little bit limited, and I don't really get it. It looks really nice. It's fun for a few minutes, yes, but is anyone going to play this for a long period of time? I'm sure there will be. There'll be plenty of people be going into the comments saying they love this game and they cannot stop playing it, and that's absolutely fine. Personally, it's not really my favourite game that I've played on this collection. It's nice, colourful, looks fantastic, sounds great, but I just don't really see the fuss, to be honest.
Way to go! Come
Perfecto. Perfecto.
Round 2.
Listo. Rolando lanzador. Listo. Rolando lanzador. Oh. Es mío.
Set. Get ready.
So obviously throughout this video we have been sort of commenting that some of the games are quite difficult. Now there are dip switch settings available for all of the games apart from Windjammers. Now that probably could be that Windjammers is more like a Neo Geo style game, where the other games are more sort of traditional arcadey games, maybe based from MAME. So there are access to dip switches for them, where you can make some of the games a little bit easier, give yourself more lives. In some instances you can actually give yourself infinite lives, such as this game here, which is really helpful. So I would obviously recommend make sure your firmware is up to date so you can get access to this and perhaps make these games a little bit less frustrating to play, because no doubt on the sort of base settings, games like Karnov are extremely tough and frustrating to play through and not the most enjoyable experiences. Okay guys, is this cart worth buying? It really depends on your love for games such as Windjammers and Karnov. If you really like those games, then you're going to want to buy this cart. Personally, I think this is probably the weakest cart that's going to be released this year. So far, right enough, I just don't see it being that amazing. I think it probably points to the fact that the quality of all the carts coming out has been extremely high. There's nothing really wrong with this cart. I enjoyed some of the games. It's decent enough. Maybe not the best value perhaps, but it's solid, and if you like Windjammers, you're going to love it. But personally, I just think it's one of the weakest carts that's been released this year so far. Anyway guys, that's my opinion. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.